Welcome to episode 2 of Jumping Around. Woo!
What's up?
I'm Jack,
Shamuka, hey.
and here's the rundown.
We're going to talk about One Piece first for this chapter as our main discussion for this week from Jump/Viz. And then we're going to talk about two picks that both Jack and I recommend that you suggest or just what we wanted to talk about. All right, let's go into One Piece now.
So my thoughts on One Piece this week. First of all, fantastic color page to have the three big players from all the way back in the arc where they were on the island. I forget the name.
The Shibodi, the supernovas.
Yeah, Shibodi. So we had that big interaction of them fighting the army back then, and now we see them in the color spread all these years later, and they're a big feature in this arc. So that's awesome.
What's interesting about the color spread is that on Twitter, I feel like I retweeted it, but I'm not too sure. Oda usually posts videos of him sketching out the entire design. And initially, he actually had Law in a separate parrot in the back, but he reworked it to put Law right on his back to show that, he's more accepting and he really, really does trust Luffy a lot.
They're best buddies now.
Yes.
Yeah, that was an awesome little video that they had going on. They've been doing that recently. It's crazy to see like how much work goes into it.
Just for one page to color it all, and what kind of like Oda's thought process is. It's crazy.
Exactly, and what a chapter. The color pages alone are insane. But we saw the fight begin with Kiku and the trader, and you had a good note on it concerning the flashback to where he escaped.
Oh, yes. So Tanjiro, so we get in one of the early pages, Tanjiro gets a little cut on his hand and he puts a bandage. And I was surprised that Oda actually showed that, why that would be significant. So I feel like because Momonosuke escaped a little bit and cut an artist's hand, I felt that was a significant player in the fight or the clash between Kiku and Tanjiro.
That's definitely a metaphor, and she definitely won. That's my guess on the topic. But we also got to see an incredible panel with the betrayal from Kaido to...
Oh, yes.
What did you think of that?
He cuts off Tanjiro's head. I think it's... So Oda's pretty bad with deaths, so I don't think Tanjiro is dead. But here's my reasoning behind it. So in the beginning, the first page that we get, our second page actually, we get the Tanjiro and he's drawn some headless samurai. And I think the reason because it's headless is to point out Orochi's headless form, right? I think Orochi is just a drawing that Kaido slashed. I don't think that's actual Orochi.
That's interesting. I was wondering where they're going that with it in the beginning. But I think he's alive just because he's the Hydra devil fruit. So you cut off a Hydra's head and they come back. Maybe his power. However, when I saw it, I thought he was dead. I thought he was dead for like 2 days before I saw other people talk about he's probably alive. And it does make sense that they're just getting rid of him for the time being so that they can bring him back and have, evil people fight each other. Perhaps he's the one that kills Kaido, something like that. Who knows?
Yeah, but I thought it was weird that Kaido actually went for the kill shot, because I would think that Kaido knows about Orochi's devil fruit since they've been working together for about 20 years now. So I feel like he wouldn't have gone for that kill shot without knowing it would guarantee. So that I'm still a little iffy about it, but I'm sure it'll play out next chapter, and we'll see whatever after effect that causes.
I think he should be dead because it's the perfect death, like a traitorous, zero fanfare, just like you're a punk, and now you're dead. It's perfect for his character, which everyone hates. So, but he's probably alive. Just knowing how.
Just knowing Oda in general, yeah.
Well, how do you survive that? His head is cut off.
I have no idea.
Just to wrap up this chapter, we have Big Mom come back into the situation, and we have Luffy rushing to save Momo. So that's where we're going to lead into in 2 weeks, I think. Next week is off again. Yeah.
I think next week is off for everyone.
Oh, really?
I think. I might be wrong, and we'll probably cut it out if I'm wrong, but I think it's I think Jump in general is off next week.
Interesting. Okay, I get a break. We get a break next week.
We get a break next week, yes.
Awesome. Do you have anything to add to One Piece?
I love Yamato. I love Yamato. I hope that it's a new crew member. I don't know how it's going to be handled, since the parallels between Yamato, Odin, Momo, and Kaido, and how they're intermixed together is really fun to see Oda playing around with that.
Yeah, I think Luffy finally gets someone that's like him, that is uncontrollable, which I think is funny.
Because we got a very sophisticated and, eloquent and someone that's more grounded in Jinbei recently added. So Yamato would be a nice balance to that, adding some chaos to the group again.
And I think the whole thing about people joining the crew and all that, I think at this point, the series does feel like it's almost ending. It's not about new crew members, it's about allies and ships and all that. So,
and I think that Yamato is strong enough, being able to almost, she didn't actually one-shot any of the Flying Six, but, she seems to be packing a lot of power, which is nice to see.
Yes, absolutely. This is not someone who's just weak. She's like the instantly top fighter within the crew if she does go on the ship. Yeah. All right, I started One Piece, so you choose your first pick.
Okay, so I'm gonna say it every week, and I'll say it this week. Actage is always gonna be my first pick. So this chapter, we get more into the dynamics of the Taiga drama, and we're still focusing on the youngest one. Her name is Satsuki. Satsuki. So we go more into Yonagi. These names are so okay. So we go into our main character, trying to bring out some characteristics from our youngest. So she makes Satsuki write in a journal, and she says, you got to tell us everything about yourself, so they get to know each other, because they're playing the same role, just in different ages. So we get a lot of exposition about the youngest. We learn that she hates walking, she likes, and she's very self-conscious, and all this sort of stuff. And this chapter continues and continues to build to what our main character, Yonagi's goal is to get Satsuki to recognize that she is cute even when she's not acting, that she is herself even when she's not acting. And the main drive that she wants to connect with the younger actor that she's trying to play is that her admiration for the main character who uses method acting. And I thought that was a beautiful build-up throughout the chapter, as we get in the form of a journal talking about her likes and dislikes.
All right. My pick is going to be Time Paradox Ghost Rider.
Okay.
It's the series I normally do content with on my channel, and it was just a great chapter. We finally got to see Itsuki Aino's character when she was young, and gives a lot of backstory to her. So I really enjoyed that character, and also threw in a lot of stuff into the equation.
A lot.
So we really have no idea what's going on. So since this is a time travel genre,
who is that grandpa?
Yeah, who's what doing what? The thing since I look at the series pretty closely, since I do content for it, the thing that I notice is that they introduced Teppei's mentor in the last
the
chapter.
Vitamin Man.
Yeah. And now they're talking about other series. So he's the only connection I have, because they don't talk about anything else. So I think that there is some connection. I don't think the old man is Teppei, because it would just be way obvious. I mean, that's the first thing I thought too. And they haven't shown any proof that people can time travel.
That's true. They haven't.
So I need a little bit more before I can make that conclusion. So that's a good series. Check it out. Your turn.
Okay, so My Hero Academia it went on break last week, so we couldn't talk about it. Same with One Piece. It also went on break last week. But it has been killing it with this arc. We don't really see Shigaraki anywhere, but we see a lot of the female cast, which a lot of people are talking about how Horikoshi kind of downplays the female cast. But, I feel like this chapter is a great example of them shining their light. We saw Midnight. We saw Mount Lady or Lady Mount Lady,
Mount
the
Lady.
big one.
Yeah.
And we see a real strong emphasis on Momo, not Momonosuke, but Momo, the creation user,
Hmm.
with the quirk, and how she's taking up leadership of this backup crew to try to stop these villains, especially Gigantomachia, the big guy, coming in and getting involved in the fight between Deku and Shigaraki.
Yeah, that was just like a really good visuals to have like the giants fight. So you get like a little bit of like Attack on Titan, but not totally gross and disgusting and character
Oh
looking.
yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, that was
It's
a
more
really great
refined.
chapter.
Horikoshi does amazing paneling. Oda, I feel, especially this chapter, is kind of not lackluster, but it's more standard paneling. But Horikoshi really shows action with this paneling, which I
I,
like.
I think Oda unfortunately has hit a place in his work where it's not always about. There's so much story. He's like on a
Yeah,
different level. It's hard to even put like One Piece in with like other stuff.
that's understandable. Yeah.
But yeah, so my final pick will be Haikyuu. It was the end of
Okay.
the series. Uh, and you got color
402,
pages.
right?
Yeah, 402, it's the end. I mean, it was pretty much already wrapped up, and they're not fighting demons or anything. No One Piece was found.
Yeah.
But we saw a fitting conclusion. I mean, the two main characters are friends and rivals. They took them to their adult lives, and it's a nice, happy ending. Probably done better than almost, I would say pretty much better than every, like, you know what? It's the perfect ending if you just, if it doesn't end on a single game
Hmm.
where they won or lost, right? Uh, where it takes you through the characters and it has satisfying conclusions, pretty much happy
Yeah.
for everyone who's ever introduced in stories. I have never seen it been done so well. So if you haven't started Haikyuu, it's something that you can go into the vault and read the whole thing with.
Mm.
It's definitely worth it, especially now that it's done and it's
The
been wrapped up.
the color spread for the beginning of it was a beautiful like demonstration of like just looking at these characters and that how they act in that space on the is it a playing field? No, it's a on the court. I think court is the right word.
Sure.
Is yeah, is amazing. I
It's
haven't read
like,
through it. I'm an anime only, but I've heard good things. What do you think you would rate Haiku now that it's completed, or do you need some more time to kind of digest on that?
I mean, sports manga wise, it's one of the best. The only thing is, like with sports manga, is it does get a little bit tedious uh, when they try to pull. When they try to make the games exciting, and by the time that it's become very important, you've already seen like 10 matches, and they last forever.
Hmm.
So it's better if you're reading it when the series is done, so you can rip through it, especially like if it's in the fall.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty good. I'm willing to say that it was one of the best, even though reading it, I did not feel like it was one of the best all the time.
Hmm. That's understandable.
The
Nice.
best thing about it is the characters, and not so many of them, and you get to know them, and they're all pretty likable, even if they're the
Oh yeah.
opposite team. Like you don't really hate anyone. The one that I didn't like is the short guy from the other team. Like it just felt like there's too much of
Oh,
him.
the white hair guy.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
personally, I did not like him, but I don't really dislike him. It's just
Hmm.
a little bit too much for me, my taste.
Nice.
All right. So
Well,
we
that's
both,
it for this week. We
yeah.
may or may not have a break next week, but
If you see us again, that means there's no break.
yeah.
All
So,
right. So I'm Jack. Check me out on Twitter at Paradox Tweeter.
and I'm Shamuka. Check me up on YouTube and Twitter. Inspirational. See you guys next time.
Peace out.
Peace.